Okay, welcome to our 3D hand project. So this is one of our op art projects that is very, very cool. And we're going to walk through this step by step together, and you really want to stay with me on these steps. So you're going to start with your blank piece of paper, and the first thing we're going to do is trace our hands. If you're right-handed, you want to trace your left hand. If you're left-handed, you want to trace your right hand. And you don't, if you're not good at this, or if you've never done this before, what I think the trick is to keep your pencil, try to keep your pencil straight up and down. If you're turning your pencil every which way as you go around your fingers, you're gonna get a deformed, crazy looking hand. And you can use a deformed, crazy looking hand for this project if you want to, but if you want it to look like your hand, you're gonna want to try to keep the pencil as straight up and down as you can. And I'm not pressing down. Mostly I'm just thinking about gently following my hand and letting the pencil do the work. Really not pressing down very hard at all. Just trying to keep my pencil nice straight up and down all the way around. And you can't even see that, but I can. It is very light. Let me pause it and make it darker. Now you might be wondering, hey, if mine comes out really light, do I also need to make mine darker? That's up to you. Let's go ahead and put our names on there. Front, back, wherever. Put our name nice and on there. Okay, so what we're actually going to do, and this is where you hardly have to follow the directions, is we're going to start making some straight lines, skipping the hand all the way down our paper. And we're only really going to be making about half of these horizontal lines right now. We're going to start by just making half of them, and we're not going to draw on the hand. So what you can do is you can line your edge of your ruler up with the edge of your paper, or the top of the ruler up with the top of the paper, and you maybe use the width of the ruler. They do not have to be perfectly straight. This is why we're not going to bother to measure and make them perfectly straight. But we don't want it to be too crazy crooked, or we're going to end up with some strangeness at the bottom. So we're trying to keep them mostly straight. When I get to the point, and that's not yet, where I'm hitting my hand, I'm going to skip it. Excuse me. So I'm actually going to turn this upside down. It'll be easier for me to see it. And I'm just lining my ruler up with the edge of that and using the width of my ruler. But I could just use it here. And I'm going to draw my straight line. When I hit that finger, I'm going to not draw on it, jump over to the next finger, jump over to the next finger, jump over all the way to the edge of my paper. Just like that. And I'm going to do that all the way down. And I have one. Boom, like that. So you're going to do that all the way down to the bottom of your paper. But your name is here. And it's going to look something like this. We're going to stop the video and then show you the next step. Okay, so for step 3, you have your nice horizontal lines. We are going to begin to make this look three-dimensional by using some curved lines. So right on like the back of your paper, you can kind of practice just like curving a line, like a little mini rainbow or a little hill. An upside down smile. I guess that would be a frown. Like that. That's basically the shapes that we want to use. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect each time we stopped and started this line with a curve. Now in this case, I might just use the top of my finger because it's so close to that. But like in here, boop, little curve. Here, little curve. Here to here, curve. Here to here, curve. So it's going to change a little bit when I get to the palm. So keep watching for when I get to the palm. Oh, but look at here. So this line went over the pinky, and then it's basically over the palm. So I need to, go from here all the way to here. I have to make a big long curve there. And here all the way to here. Big old curve there. Here all the way to here, really big long curve. And then here's another curve here. Big long curve. Okay? So that is step 3. Okay, so steps 4 and 5, repeat steps 2 and 3. So you're going to take your ruler and you're going to draw some more straight lines now. And I know you might think, why didn't we do this all along? But trust me, it would have gotten real confusing if you had too many lines. So we're going to just divide this up. And we don't need to worry about making it halfway through. Should I put 1 line or 2 line between there? You can, that's up to you. If you decide to put 2 between each of your lines or even more, it's going to take you a little longer to finish it. It's also going to look more three-dimensional. And you can vary that. You can have them some wider, some fatter. You know, you want to try to keep them as straight as possible. Again, if you remember, I was not drawing on the fingers because I'm going to come back and add those curved lines later. So again, I'm going to stop, or on the hand or on the wrist. I'm going to skip all that area when I come in here and divide this up. On the wrist, I'm going to skip. Skip. And then once I have all those new lines in here, I'm going to come back in and add those curves. And the nice thing is I have some curved lines already drawn that I can use to help guide me. And it makes a big difference. It gets so confusing if you start with a whole bunch of lines. So this way, it just makes a little more sense. So you will finish curving all those lines, adding all the lines in that you can. And then we're going to color. Once you get to the coloring part, you're going to pick a handful of colors that you think look nice together. That's going to be your color scheme. We do need to talk about how to shade. This has a little bit of shading in there that helps to make it extra 3D. The curved lines help to make it 3D, but so does this extra shading. So we still need to talk about the extra shading, but that's the basic idea of how to get it drawn. And then you'll begin coloring.